First at 6, what happens when teens spend too much time on their phones? We're going to have a new warning for parents coming up in a few minutes here.
At my house, they get them taken away.
There you go.
But you know, I'm just saying. We want to hear from you, though, parents. Do you set rules about how much your kids can use social media? Tweet us with the hashtag HTownRush.
And do you follow through?
I know.
The consequences.
I know. It's,
it's
always easy to say, oh yeah, and then I'm like,
get off your phone right now. You just get off that. And then
one
you're
of the big
on
things in
yours.
our house is the phones have to come out to the kitchen at bedtime.
Oh.
You know, so there's not that waking up at 2 in the morning because one of your friends doesn't like to sleep.
Yeah.
Likes to Snapchat you at 2 in the morning.
That's right.
Interesting. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's
Those friends.
teenagers,
Yeah.
Those friends.
At 3, though, it's okay. We're like, hey, rise and shine. Happy Monday. Well, the good news is for this Monday, we're really starting off mild. So we don't have to worry about really extremes as far as our weather temperatures or a rain event almost over the next 7 days. I'll get to that more on that in a second here. 50s and 60s this morning, so maybe dress in layers. You'll need a long sleeve early. Oh, but by the afternoon, we'll be tracking 70s. Dry this morning, about a 20% chance of a stray shower to just a spotty sprinkle. And the reason, because clouds are going to continue to build in. So we had mainly clear skies overnight. Clouds will continue to thicken up. And then again, there you go, 70s expected by the afternoon. Rain chances do not move back into the forecast until Friday. So Steph, good news for all the back to school, back to work goers on this Monday. You're going to be smooth sailing. At least we're not talking rain.
And it's a good thing that we're not talking about rain for the next several days, Cheetah, because look at this. We've got video to show you of a place that's closed in Sugar Land because of high water. So they're going to keep this area closed until that water line recedes. And this is the Brazos River turnaround on Highway 59. So again, that's an area to avoid. No other areas in Sugar Land are disrupted except that. Now, let's take you to our Houston TransStar camera, and I want to showcase West Beltway southbound side. So this is right by your I-10 Memorial Drive. So just about a mile away, you've got a crash plugging up the center lane, and it is still active. Lisa.
Steph, thank you. Breaking overnight, a desperate search for a 7-year-old boy with autism.
Xavion Young, he was last seen at his home yesterday. Our Michelle Choi is joining us from Texas City to tell us about the search that's underway this morning. Michelle?
Guys, the effort to find 7-year-old Xavion is growing. Texas EquiSearch is now joining the search party. In fact, just moments ago, they arrived here and they're about to set up a command post, if you guys can see there, here at the Costa Mariposa Apartments off of Medical Center Drive later this morning. In fact, this is the area where Xavion went missing yesterday around noon. Now, take a good look at this picture, guys. Xavion is 4 feet tall, weighs around 54 pounds, and was last seen wearing gray and white plaid shorts with black and blue Velcro shoes. Police say Xavion is nonverbal, but he does respond to his name. And officials spent all day yesterday looking for him. Even a dive team was called in to search a nearby retention pond, but unfortunately crews didn't have much luck yesterday, and they are hoping for a better outcome today. And guys, again, Xavion is autistic, so he may be easily spooked by strangers, so just be aware of that if you do happen to see him. And of course, if you know anything, call Texas City Police. But guys, really hoping Texas EquiSearch's help will help in this search. Back to you.
Yeah, we hope he's just out there somewhere hiding or something and they can find him quickly. Thank you, Michelle. The man arrested in the murder of Jasmine Barnes is going back to court today, and there's a second suspect now in custody as well.
Sheriff expects charges to be filed against him very soon. Our Janelle Ford is live downtown with more on the break in this case. Janelle?
Well, Russ and Lisa, that week-long manhunt to find little Jasmine's killer is now over, but it's important to note that there are still a lot of loose ends to tie in this case. Now, ideally, we'll get some of those questions answered today in court. This is 20-year-old Eric Black Jr. He's been charged with capital murder in Jasmine's death. He made his first court appearance yesterday. There he told investigators that this was a case of mistaken identity. He says they shot into the wrong car. He also told investigators that it wasn't him who pulled the trigger, but that second man arrested, Larry Woodruff. Woodruff is in custody, but he hasn't been charged yet. Now, the case-altering tip came to activist Sean King remember, he was offering a reward that got up to $100,000 for information leading to Jasmine's killer. Now, he forwarded the tip to Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, and investigators were able to arrest Black on Saturday. Now, as the pieces of this case come together, Jasmine's family is gearing up to lay baby girl to rest. We spoke with the family. They say, well, nothing can take away that pain of losing Jasmine. These arrests are a relief. And, you know, there's been a lot of questions about the original description of that suspect and some of the earlier details in this case. Later on in the show, we're going to break down what we know from everything that we've gathered. Sending it back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, we'll talk to you then. Thank you very much, Janelle. Your Rush Block continues now with today's other big stories. And we're starting with a Fort Bend County man who's accused of trying to join ISIS. The New York Times reports that Warren Clark was arrested on the front lines in Syria. They say he even turned in a resume to show that he could teach English to ISIS recruits. Clark reportedly once worked as a substitute teacher in Fort Bend County. National Security Advisor John Bolton is in Israel today. He says the U.S. military withdrawal from neighboring Syria is dependent on defeating what's left of the Islamic State. Meanwhile, President Trump denies that it was ever his plan to leave Syria immediately.
We're going to be removing our troops. I never said we're doing it that quickly.
First wildfires and now mudslides.
Heavy rains in Southern California pushed debris and mud onto the Pacific Coast Highway, where the Woolsey fire burned nearly 2 months ago.
5 people had to be rescued from their trapped cars, including rapper Soulja Boy. Demolition begins on the original Frenchie's Chicken in Southeast Houston today. The owners have made plans for a bigger restaurant. In the meantime, they're moving to a temporary location across the street. And at your Rush Block, let us know what's happening in your neighborhood. All you have to do is tweet us using the hashtag HTownRush.